Welcome to Going Ultra Season 2. I'm going to be talking about the 2019 Ultraman series. I'm recording this before I try to even get any screen grabs, so I am going to be hosting this on YouTube, and I'll make an audio-only version available as well. And the RSS link and the link to the blog post will be in the YouTube description, so if you're not going to get any visuals, and you don't want to bother with being on YouTube and wasting bandwidth or whatever, I'll have a tiny little audio file for you to listen to just for the review. And there's 13 episodes of the Netflix Ultraman, or Ultraman 2019. I think that's what I'll call it, Ultraman 2019. And I'm just gonna try to do them one every day, because they're half hour. And thank goodness they are dubbed. I don't know. I like dubs. So anyway, I'm getting over the minute and a half mark, and I don't want to leave you too long without talking about Ultraman, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a preview of what exactly I'm going to be doing, and what the situation is. So, yes, everything will be good. Everything will be smooth. Hopefully, I will have all this done within like 2 weeks, because I'll watch about one a day and release about an episode a day, so you can get quick Ultraman 2019 coverage here with me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the review of the episode. I just finished watching it, so these are my raw thoughts and impressions, and I'll go ahead now. So, first of all, because I am that kind of, lame weeb, I really love the fact that it is dubbed and not in Japanese and subtitles, and I like that for two reasons. One is that I'm not a fast reader, so the dub itself allows me to process it more easily. Number two is that I'm going to go ahead and make the argument that this is going to make Ultraman and anime and Tokusatsu more accessible to the Western audience, and I think that's a good thing. And I'm not actually talking about the show, so let me pause on that, talk about the show, and then I can talk about these things afterwards, because I'm here for review and analysis and, maybe projection or whatever. So, once again, into the episode itself. The episode has the show, Ultraman, has a very grounded, realistic vibe to it. It feels like a science fiction story and not like Tokusatsu. It doesn't feel like Power Rangers or Super Sentai or Kamen Rider at all to me. Did I get the same vibe from SSS Gridman? I don't know. But, no, that definitely felt way more anime. But the presentation of the characters is very realistic, very subdued in mannerism, in speech and everything. Like, I loved the presentation of it because it felt like more serious and more grounded, and I think it's a good thing, because it set a different tone for me. It didn't feel like I was waiting for this action thriller thing to start. It felt like I was watching a story. It was a story about a man who had been involved with this amazing, otherworldly incident, and he was left forever changed by it. And the tension of seeing Shinjiro fall off and survive, that was great. It was beautiful. I think so it's Shin Hayata and Shinjiro. I do not remember the name of the other man who was part of the SSSP, I think. But I will get his name later at some point. But, gosh, I felt like it was very mysterious, a little creepy. The tension was good. The drama was good. Obviously, there's a 10-year gap in roughly the middle of the episode, and then we flash forward to the present day where Shinjiro is dealing with the fact that he has these powers that he doesn't know where they came from, and that's causing tension, I think, beyond the normal angst of a teenager, and I thought that was kind of fun. I was really surprised by the fact that his dad, that Hayata, had not said anything to Shinjiro about the fact that they might be different. I don't know, I would think you'd be able to tell your 15, 16-year-old son, I don't know, maybe not, I'm not sure. Hey, this Ultraman guy, well, the truth about Ultraman, because I worked with this group that, was closely associated, was that Ultraman was somebody, and he was hosted in somebody. And, it's a secret that all of us have kept because we wanted to keep the person safe, yada yada. I'm Ultraman, and look at this, boom, crush a cinder block or whatever with your bare hand, and then, and you are Ultraman too, son. I think you'd be able to have that conversation, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal with a teenager, and I'm almost interested to see, I don't really want them to go back, but it would almost be interesting to see them go back and show Shinjiro like discovering the power. Nah, it might be boring, which is probably why they skipped it. Um, so anyway, though I do have other questions. What happened to Hayata's wife, Shinjiro's mother? Where is she? Because she seems to be absent. Um, it definitely felt like a home where there is more tension than just my like I'm secretly an alien human hybrid, and so is my son, and I'm waiting to tell him, but I don't know when to. But other than that, everything is great in our lives, except for he's a teenager and has angst. It felt like, I don't know, maybe there's a hole in the home because a crucial part of it is gone, and I don't know, like I feel like I have an okay sense for who these characters are, and I don't know, maybe they kind of fit into archetypes, and that's why I'm recognizing, it's pattern recognition, which the human mind is fabulous at, by the way. And I'm just seeing these things and kind of projecting onto them, bigger stories or different aspects of the narrative that could be there. But it certainly feels like there's something there. And I don't know. I don't know. I think I already feel a bit of an attachment to these characters and for who they are and what their stories and their struggles are. And I'll be interested to see how that's explored later on through the series. But other interesting things. I'm really excited about the fact that apparently Hayata has been working with the SSSP to develop an armor for himself, an Ultraman armor, which, like, the whole concept of that is really interesting, especially with this alien guy whose identity I do not know, stalking Shinjiro and telling him that his power doesn't belong on Earth or, like, to humanity, perhaps. Is he, like, going to try to harvest that power from him, rip it out of his body somehow? I mean, he definitely... when he slashed at him up on the idol billboard, he looked like he was definitely going to attack him. Like, he was trying to hurt him. I don't think he was just testing and probing. And even if he was, maybe he wanted to see how strong the power was before he went to the next step. And, I mean, again, he was definitely going after him in the stadium, and then, Hayata shows up. So, it'll be interesting to see exactly what that guy's motives are. I wonder if Hayata and this individual have had past interactions, because the show starts 10 years after the original Ultraman goings-on, and then it jumps 10 ahead again, so 20 years later. And in that time, Hayata has been working apparently with the group, and they've developed the armor, and they knew about this guy who caused the plane to crash and then attacked Shinjiro. So I don't quite understand like what's been going on in the gap. Obviously, they jumped 10 years and they skipped over a bunch of stuff, but I'm really interested in that and intrigued into exactly what happened. I think I'll just talk about one last thing that I like, because the intrigue is there, and I think it's a good hook. But I think something really a fun element of it. I don't know how to quantitate it otherwise, other than it being cool, is that it looks like it's going to be. Maybe they could have handled it even better to make it a harder punch. But it looks, from Shinjiro's perspective, I'm different. My dad wouldn't understand. I've got these powers and all this stuff's going on, and I live in a world where there's Ultraman. So like, what does that potentially make me? Is was he even thinking about that? And then he's being attacked by this thing that looks like Ultraman because he has Ultraman-like powers or whatever. And then he's like, "Hey, Dad, that thing looks like Ultraman. What's going on? And what are you doing here? And how did you stop him?" And then, "Son, he's not Ultraman. I am." And that's like, what would that do to you if you thought you were special? Particularly because or partially because you're a teenager and partially because you have these powers, and you think that you're so, and I'm 31, 32, I don't know, I'm somewhere above the 30s, which is bad. Anyway, sorry, I feel so old. But like, what would you do if you were a teen and you thought you were so special, and then someone stepped in, and then like your dad stepped in and like upstaged you, or was more than you ever expected of them? Gosh, that seems like such an interesting dynamic, and I hope that the fact that they're family and that they have a strange relationship, or that they have a strained relationship, like really plays into the story. I want it to go beyond, like, "Oh, Dad, you saved me, and now I'm going to be part of this thing," to like, "Dad, what is going on? Why didn't you tell me?" I want there to be consequences and drama to that, aside from the alien fighting, because alien fighting only gets you so far. But it's pretty cool so far in this episode. So yeah, I really like, again, like I really like the tone. Because Netflix. I'll be a millennial and say that because Netflix. The next episode started before the credits got to finish, so I didn't get to hear like if the ending song was cool. It was, sound dramatic, like generic dramatic stuff. It's probably really well composed and put together, but I only heard 4 seconds of it, and then it skipped to the next episode, and it picks up right where this episode left off. Which, I don't know if there's going to be an opening song. I kind of hope there is, but we'll have to see. And going to the I don't know. I called it projection earlier, but that's not what I mean. I guess speculation. I hope that this show, because it's dubbed, because it's getting this, English release on Netflix, because it is more subdued, I hope that it has the effect of opening more people up to anime and tokusatsu as a cool, serious thing, and that this could be a great place for people to step into tokusatsu who, if they're not familiar with it, because it feels like sci-fi. It feels a little bit maybe like X-Men, you could say. There's this, subdued otherworldliness, kind of like an X-Files or I don't know, like any other sci-fi thing. And I think that groundedness, and then how it's going to open up over time, is going to really make it's going to be a great transition point. In the Ghostbusters commentary on the first one, I think Ivan Reitman, I can't remember the name. Anyway, talks about the fact that they did this domino effect thing. Like, they had this theory that, like, if we start the movie very grounded and very realistic, and then we slowly go and use, one little, factual thing that's true, and then stretch it a little bit, and then do the next and the next and the next, that it's going to transition people into how crazy and wacky, the ectoplasm and the, containment system and all this stuff is, because, basically because movies are magic. My audio got interrupted somehow. It got stopped from recording, so I'm jumping back in here. Anyway, I feel like this will be able to do that, and I think maybe if they don't have an OP, but if this is successful, like an anime or tokusatsu style OP, which if you look at them, if you haven't seen them before, which if you're listening to this or watching this, you probably have, but if you haven't, check it out. Do Kamen Rider Ghost OP, or Ultraman Red, or well, I haven't seen an Ultraman opening because I haven't watched any Ultraman proper besides the 77 one, and I don't remember if that had an OP, but times have changed and the genre has changed and the media has changed since then, so if it didn't then, it probably does now. Kamen Rider 72 has it, so I would think Ultraman's older. It's like from 67, the original one. Anyway, whatever. I think this can broaden the appeal of tokusatsu and anime. I got into Ultraman from watching Gridman because it was going to be 12 episodes long. Most Ultraman's longer, 50 episodes. I don't know that for sure. I know Super Sentai and Kamen Rider are typically like 48 to 52 episodes. Ultraman has always just been the other guy for me. But I really, really liked Gridman, and I like the vibe of this so far, and I was so excited as soon as I don't remember if it was as soon as I finished the first season of Going Ultra, that I realized that, or that I heard that this, Netflix Ultraman series was going to happen, or not. But I remember as soon as I found out, I thought, I'm definitely doing Going Ultra Season 2. By the way, Going Ultra Season 1 you can find at trialofheroes.wordpress.com. You can also find it at mjmunoz.com, under the podcasts section. And I think you have to search for it on trialofheroes.wordpress.com. And I don't think I made... Yeah, it's all on one page on the mjmunoz.com, which is my website. And, and you can find it. I'm going to have this on my Recipher YouTube channel, which is probably where you're watching this, hopefully. That's all I have to say for now. I don't want to go past really half the runtime of the episode without adding anything pertinent, so just kind of plugging myself. Again, mjmunoz.com, that's my blog. That's where I mirror everything that I put on YouTube and audio places. And again, check the link for the audio archive or for the audio version of the podcast, of the show, whatever, as well as there will be an RSS feed there for you to follow along. And if you enjoyed this, give me a like, share, subscribe. You can support me on Ko-fi if you want to. I would appreciate that. That'd be lovely. Because not only am I talking about anime and tokusatsu and comics. It's something I do. I'm also an aspiring writer. I have some children's books in the work that I need to fund illustrators for. And yeah, so anyway, if you like me, you like what I do, help me out. Thanks.